Most people learn gel nails as a set of steps. Very few people are ever taught what gel actually is. And that gap between using a product and understanding the material is where so much confusion, frustration, nail damage, and even allergic reaction risk begin. Gel isn't magic, it isn't mysterious, and it isn't just about trendy brands and cute packaging. First and foremost, gel is a material and one with a long scientific history. And once you understand what gel actually is and where this technology comes from, the way you approach gel nails completely changes. One of the reasons I created Attain is because I saw how often gel products were being taught as something to memorize instead of something to understand. People were being shown what to do without ever being taught what they were working with. And when you don't understand the material, everything from application to curing to removal starts to feel confusing or intimidating. What you see someone do online becomes impossible to replicate because they've only quickly shown you how, not fully explained the why. My goal with this series is to change that. So let's talk about where gel comes from. Something that surprises a lot of people is that gel nail products did not originate in the beauty industry at all. The chemistry behind acrylics and gels comes from dentistry. In the 1950s, a dentist named Frederick Slack accidentally broke a nail and repaired it using dental acrylic. That moment is widely credited as the beginning of modern nail enhancements. But what's important here isn't the story itself, it's why it worked. Dentists were already using acrylic chemistry because it offered strength, durability, and controlled curing. Those same properties made it very adaptable for nails. So what does gel actually mean? One of the biggest misconceptions in nail education is that gel is a specific type of product. But the word gel actually describes the state of the material. A gel nail product is a pre-mixed acrylate system that stays in a viscous, workable state until it's exposed to UV light. Unlike other nail products, gel doesn't cure because it's sitting on the nail, and it doesn't cure because of air exposure. It cures when UV light activates the initiators inside of the formula. This is why gel is unique in that it gives us working time, and it's also why curing properly is so important. Now let's talk about a word you hear a lot, often without any context: acrylates. Acrylates are a family of reactive molecules designed to link together and form polymers. Acrylates are used everywhere: dentistry, medical devices, adhesives, industrial coatings, makeup, skincare, and nail products. In nail products, acrylates are typically broken down into three main categories. We have acrylates, we have methacrylates, and we have cyanoacrylates. Within these categories, we find acrylates like EMA and HEA, which are often found in liquid and powder acrylic systems. We find methacrylates like HEMA and HPMA, often found in gels, and cyanoacrylates like ECA in things like dip systems and nail glues. Acrylates can also be found in different molecular forms. At a very high level, you'll hear terms like monomers, which are single molecules. We have oligomers, which are pre-built chains of molecules. And we have polymers, which are those long strands that we're trying to create when we harden our nail products on our nails. What's important to know about acrylates is the smaller and more reactive the molecule, the more important it is that it's handled correctly and fully cured. Single molecules can permeate the skin barrier, so we need to be aware of things like the health of our skin, repeated skin contact, and also the possibility of having unreacted monomers lingering in our semi-hardened products if we're not using the right lamp. The goal with any nail system, gel, acrylic, or adhesive, is always the same: to convert reactive material into a stable, fully cured polymer. That's where performance comes from, and that's where safety comes from. If this video is already helping you, be sure to like and subscribe, because this video is part of a larger series called How to Do Gel Nails at Home. You can start from the beginning at any time, and I recommend watching this series in order if you want the full foundation. And throughout the series, I'll occasionally drop some small knowledge check ins and rewards for those of you that are truly paying attention. So keep watching. To better understand gel, let's start by understanding liquid and powder acrylic. Gel and acrylic are actually not opposites, they're very closely related. The difference is how they cure. Acrylic, which most of you have probably encountered at some point in your nail journey, cures through a chemical reaction that begins when the liquid and powder are combined. The powder contains an initiator called benzoyl peroxide, which activates the polymerization process once it comes into contact with the liquid. And a fun little fact is that we can also put benzoyl peroxide in gel if we want to harden it, especially if we're disposing of the product. Because acrylic relies on this chemical reaction, the mix ratio between liquid and powder really matters. If the bead is too dry or too wet, that reaction doesn't happen efficiently and the product won't perform as intended. That's why acrylic has such a distinct working feel and why control and balance are so important when using it. Now, gel cures through a different type of reaction. Instead of curing when the two components are mixed together, gel remains in a workable state until it's exposed to UV light. Inside the formula are photoinitiators, which activate that polymerization process when they absorb energy from that UV lamp. Because gel is pre-mixed, there's no mix ratio to control like there is with liquid and powder acrylic. The working time with gel is controlled by UV light exposure rather than chemical ingredients alone. That's what gives gel its extended workability, and also why proper lamp choice, layer thickness, and full curing are so important for performance and also nail health. I want to be clear. No nail product type is better or worse, or safer or healthier. They all have specific chemistries, trade-offs, benefits, and characteristics. And they're all just different ways of creating polymer coatings, aka plastic, that enhance our nails. So let's talk about why all of this matters for nail health and allergies. When we don't understand what gel actually is, we're more likely to experience issues. Without the proper knowledge, it's easy to make mistakes. And these mistakes can include things like undercuring, applying too much product, causing excess skin contact, exothermic reactions, that burning sensation you feel in your nail lamp, rushing removal, damaging nails and skin. And these mistakes are what increase the risk of irritation and allergies. Formulation plays a role, but it's these types of mistakes that, in my opinion, truly increase that risk. Healthy and fun gel nail care isn't about paranoia or fear. It's about knowledge and awareness. When we understand and respect the chemistry and give it the conditions it needs to fully perform, we dramatically reduce unnecessary risk. Now that you have a better understanding about what gel actually is, we're ready to move into the next layer of detail. Gel is one of the most versatile materials we can use in nail care because of how customizable it is. Unlike liquid and powder acrylic or dip powder, where you're essentially working with a single one-size-fits-all material, gel allows us to optimize formulas for very specific purposes. We can adjust gel chemistry to improve adhesion, flexibility, hardness, shine, working time, and overall performance. That flexibility is what makes gel such a powerful tool, but it's also why understanding formulation and curing matters. And this is where the conversation naturally turns to ingredients. Because with gel, we also have the unique ability to choose ingredients that are less likely to contribute to allergies and sensitivities when used correctly. That exact philosophy is at the core of what Attain is built around. So in the next episode, we're going to take a deeper look at one of the most talked about ingredients in gel nail products, HEMA. We'll break down what HEMA actually is, what HEMA-free really means, and why that label on its own does not tell the full story. We'll also talk about oligomer-based formulas, why more brands, including Attain, are moving in that direction, and the trade-offs that come with choosing safer, lower sensitization chemistry. My approach to these conversations and information has always been unique. And that's why this series isn't about memorizing steps, getting caught up in just pretty colors, nail art, or chasing trends or labels. What I want to truly offer you is a foundational knowledge base, one that's about understanding these chemicals and materials so you can make informed decisions about your personal health and your personal nail journey, not only now, but also in the future. And it's this same understanding that allows us to demystify, navigate marketing, analyze trends, and also enjoy the fun of gel nails without high risks, fear, or confusion.